G'day, Dr. Paul Begama from NeuroLogic Education. I hope you're well, and I'm here to share with you some exciting news. NeuroLogic Education is bringing out Dr. Brandon Brock from the US in March next year to talk topics on dysautonomia as well as pediatric neurodevelopment. Now, the mantra of NeuroLogic Education is to bring out experts in clinical neurosciences to help increase the clinical competencies of all chiropractors. And there's no doubt that Dr. Brandon Brock really fits the bill. His resume is too long to read, but in summary, he's first and foremost a chiropractor and has done further studies with a diplomat in nutrition and neurology. He's done a doctorate in nursing practice that he uses to help when he's looking at conventional medicine versus the integrative work he does, as well as have done academic work at Harvard Medical School, Duke's University, and Stanford University. Now, with the components of the work we'll be doing, in the first weekend on dysautonomia, that'll be on Sydney, in Sydney Ridges on March 3rd and 4th, and then the following weekend we'll be at doing the Pediatric Neurodevelopment section in Melbourne at the IBIS on March 10th and 11th. And both weekends will be followed with a Monday live workshop. When we look at the work that we'll be doing during the weekends, it'll be giving chiropractors access to what he does from a chiropractic perspective and a neuro-rehabilitative perspective essentially, as well as supporting elements with some of the integrative components with nutrition, metabolic and immune support. When we look at details of the Dysautonomia seminar series, he'll be running and talking about things like POTS, cardiac and vascular disorders, as well as autonomic dysregulation associated with the cortical, cerebellar, as well as brainstem disorders. And a lot of us know that when we look at patients that have chronic problems, often not stabilizing the neuroaxis with the autonomic nervous system can be a real dilemma. So to have Brandon share those sort of tools would be fantastic. In the Pediatric Development course, the following weekend, he'll be running through conditions that unfortunately are very common nowadays, such as autism, ADHD, dyslexia and learning disorders, OCD, Tourette's, as well as PANS, and as well as many other conditions that we'll be running through and the way that Brandon looks at these cases. The weekends will have a real good solid clinical component associated that you can use in practice, and then the Monday live workshops will be actual live cases that will be brought in by chiropractors from their clinics that Brandon will then run through his history, assessment, differential diagnosis, management, and give his way to manage these complicated cases. When we look at these sort of cases, they're often managed by a chiropractor, perhaps with a functional neuro or with an integrated medical doctor or with a naturopath. In the way that Brandon distills this and through his lens, he brings this all together under a Brandon Brock umbrella. And it will be a fantastic learning experience on the Monday to take all the information from the weekend on Saturday and Sunday with the dysautonomia and the pediatric neurodevelopment, and you'll be able to take some of those pearls and bring them into your practice on Monday morning. The details are all listed below at neurologiceducation.com.au. Very early bird finishes on December 1, so please get in there before that date. And for Melbourneites, the actual weekend of the 10th to the 12th is actually the Moomba long weekend. So I suppose good news wise, you're not going to lose any practice time. Thank you for listening, and we really look forward to seeing you at this upcoming NeuroLogic event with Dr. Brandon Brock.